So one of the biggest things on my journey was cutting out sugar. And if you're watching this because you're considering cutting out sugar or bringing your carbohydrates way down, let me see if I can just push you right over the edge, because it really has been one of the best things that I've ever done. About 5 years ago and on, I was dealing with major, chronic, everyday back, shoulder, neck, jaw, and back of the head pain all of the time. And I'd come home from work and I was just constantly like this, no matter what, just cranky and just irritable and couldn't stretch enough and just always kind of going like that, just so much pain. And sometimes I would just feel so bad. My wife would be like, what's wrong? And I'd always say, it's just my pain, I'm in pain. And it's just something I lived with for years and years. And I kind of was eating a decent diet some years ago, but this was before my health journey. This was before things got real and I started, initiating and taking on taking serious measures and making drastic changes. But I slowly started to learn a little bit more, because I was trying to heal my wife, and I was learning more and more about sugars and carbohydrates from certain proponents of the ketogenic diet. I wasn't ready to go down that route. One thing that I did do, though, was I was listening to a lot of William Davis and advocates like him about wheat and what it does, and noticing in their clinical practices that when they took people off of breads, they actually started to get better, and their illnesses started to go away, and their brain fog started to lift, and they were losing all of their excess body weight. And that was very interesting to me. One day I just came home and I told my wife, look, we're not eating bread anymore. And that was, to us, it was a huge change, and it wasn't without kicking and screaming and lots of relapses, and it was a struggle. And then there's that whole debate on, well, sprouted grains is okay and organic is fine because it doesn't have glyphosate, and we'll just eat gluten-free bread, and really it was when I stopped making all of those excuses, or stopped convincing myself that I could do it halfway, that I started to notice major differences. So I cut out, we were eating pasta every single day. I mean, it's like $1 a box and you can feed your whole family. So we were eating it every single day, and when we decided to cut out wheat, we stopped eating pasta, and we stopped eating bread, and we started to just figure, eat more meat and make smoothies and salads and that kind of a thing, and it all went away. All my chronic pain, something I'd been dealing with for years, carrying around bottles of peppermint essential oil on my construction job, rubbing it on my neck, and people asking me why I smelled like that. It must have been weird to them. And it was kind of embarrassing, but I mean, I had to do it. I had to put on those stupid little patches at night just to soothe my muscles so I can go to sleep, or rub that jelly stuff on me just so I could feel a little bit better. And it was cutting out not only the breads and the grains and the rices and those complex carbohydrates, but also the simple disaccharides, the simple carbohydrates, the monosaccharides, the high fructose corn syrup, refined corn sugar, the disguised coconut sugar, maple syrup, honey, all of these things that in our sort of health world we think are better alternatives, and they are. Some of them absolutely are. But agave is, I mean, switching from organic cane sugar over to agave is probably not going to give you a huge benefit. You really want to bring down your carbohydrates if you're dealing with chronic inflammation, which is what the pain is. Yeah, you might have an injury, but really the injury wouldn't hurt near as bad if the chronic inflammation would stop, right? Now, a little bit of inflammation is good. Like, when things swell up, that's good. It means that your body's resources are putting their focus and attention on that area. But it's when you're dealing with something for years, and you sort of try to crack your neck, but it doesn't quite crack because it's so damn stiff. You probably need some magnesium for sure, and you can watch my other video on magnesium, but cutting out sugar was like the best thing. And I've always been a skinny dude, but my gut just went away. I used to be a beer drinker, sure. I'd have a little bit of beer every once in a while. It wasn't really a serious thing, but I had this lingering gut that I saw when I came out of the shower every single day, and it stuck out sort of like that, resting no matter what. And it wasn't bloat, it was really jiggly, and it wasn't just water. It stayed with me for probably 8 years, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 6 years. But when I cut out wheat and sugar, man, listen to me. Soda has to go. Kombucha is way better, okay? When I cut those things out, all the weight just fell off of me, and I started to feel better, and my brain fog went away. Now, I don't know if you deal with brain fog, but for those of us who have dealt with it, it's soul crushing. It's like life ruining, because you feel like just an absolute dumbass every single day, and you don't know why. You have a hard time waking up. Somebody asks you something in the morning, you just don't know the answer. You can't really think straight. You tend to stutter a little bit, and your memory is failing you, and you're 25 or whatever, 40, who cares? You shouldn't be dealing with these kinds of things. It's like when you walk into a room and you forget why you went in there. That's not normal behavior. I know everybody, a lot of us deal with that, and it's normal to a certain degree, but I think that we need to take our brain health, and just our general health to the next level, and be able to take care of ourselves and stop, destroying our brains with these toxic things. And that's sort of how we need to approach this. Is really, this is a neurotoxin at the levels that we're eating it, and so we're going to feel a heck of a lot better if we can lower our sugars, lower our carbohydrates. And for me personally, I really enjoy a ketogenic diet that's rich in good fats, and very low in carbohydrates, and sort of at a medium for proteins, cycling in and out of proteins, and then having like a carbohydrate day where I have some sweet potatoes on a Saturday or something like that. But yeah, this has been my 2 cents on the whole sugar issue. So if you're thinking about cutting out sugars, I would highly recommend that. I think you'll feel a lot better, and you'll probably look and feel differently after a few weeks. So I'm just positing that, submitting that to you, and I'm going to be making a lot more videos, so you can subscribe to this channel and hit the notifications bell, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.